What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? I am Safety Scissors.
And I'm Duct Tape.
And today we're talking about fighting.
Yes, in a vlog we just filmed. We started talking about like our first fight, and it got me thinking that maybe we should do a vlog about fighting. I know that sounds kind of weird, but hear me out. So both of us previously had come from some friendships and relationships where fighting got a little unhealthy. And we do reflect often on how lucky we are in how we can handle fights between each other, and how we reflect on how different things are now.
Oh, yeah.
And we kind of wanted to share some of that with you guys because some of you guys may not know that fighting is actually really healthy in a relationship. It is normal to disagree, but maybe you guys don't know like what's healthy and what's not when it comes to disagreeing. So I was like, why don't we talk about the bad stuff we've been through and the good stuff between us?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good thing because, you know, growing up you think, oh man, you shouldn't argue when you're in a relationship. That's bad. But the thing is that if you're not passionate about something enough or can have enough of a conviction with something and someone does wrong to you about it or what you think is wrong and you can't discuss it, then clearly you're not in it.
There is never going to be two people on this earth that can be together forever and never disagree on anything. It's how you disagree that makes or breaks your relationship. Also, T'Challa has joined us for this video, and he's very just happy to be here. Hey, baby. So one of the things that I'm just going to like go ahead and say the real truth here. We have to apologize a lot to each other because we've been used to a certain kind of interaction with other people. And we don't have that interaction with each other. And it makes us kind of like have to say sorry. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, we feel the need. T'Challa's
He's
looking out the
opening the
window. He's just standing here looking out the blinds.
You talk.
But no, so basically, you go through things in previous relationships that you actually either grow accustomed to as it being a part of your your normal psyche when it comes to a relationship, or you just get to the point where you are afraid to do something because a previous person that you were with or someone that you know made you feel a certain way every time that you brought up how you feel about something.
Yeah.
And in the moment, you might not realize how unhealthy that is, but it is. You know, there's certain things that I do that I'll ask her for permission when I know I don't need to. But it's like, I'll be like, hey, is it okay if I do this? And she's like, why are you asking me? Like,
and I do the exact same thing. It's like, hey, do you mind if I... Oh my God, he just shoved his head through the blinds. I'm like, oh, do you mind if I wear this outfit? He has no say whether or not I can wear an outfit.
Yeah.
But I find myself asking if he minds.
And like, I'll want to play like a couple rounds of Call of Duty with my little brother. And I'm like, hey, is it okay if I play? And it's like, in my head, I'm asking her to just make sure that she didn't have anything else planned right then and there for either the TV or anything. But I've also had relationships where I'm like, hey, I'm going to go play this. I'm like, ugh, you're going to play? You not hang out with me? Okay. And you're like, well, what did I do wrong? Like, I just asked, you know? And
yeah, and I think, first of all, in a healthy relationship, being able to spend time apart is really important. Like, he wants to play video games. I can't say, no, I'm home, so you can't play video games. It's, okay, well, I have this, this, and this that I can get done while you do that, and then we can hang out together. Sounds good to me. So being able to spend time apart is really important, but if you were to say, I want to play Call of Duty, I would never say to you, like, really? You're going to play Call of Duty and not hang out with me? That right there instigates a major fight. Versus, I was actually thinking that we would do this tonight, but, I mean, is there a time that you can do that instead? Because I really did want to hang out with you tonight. Different way of saying exactly the same thing.
And you're basically asking, hey, I know you wanted to do this, but I also wanted to do this. Can we compromise?
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. That's the big key word in relationships.
It's compromise is not even the most important word. It's communication.
Oh, yeah.
It's how you communicate it. And so that's just one little example. Also, I'm so distracted because T'Challa would like to be let out of this room very badly, and I'm going to make you go do that while I talk about the next thing.
All right.
So go do that.
Come on, guy.
He like comes in for just a second, and we're just real with you, so we're not going to edit that out. Anyway. So another thing that we find ourselves doing is not saying something. Because I remember being very afraid to say something in past friendships and relationships. Just being afraid of saying, hey, this bothered me. Or, hey, can you not do that? Or, hey, when you do that, it causes these 6 reactions that are just not really good. And I find myself kind of afraid to mention things like that sometimes. And I know you're kind of the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Because whereas I would get a very, like moody attack dog, you got a very like, all right, fine. And then like they would hold a grudge. For me, it was like instant attack. For you, it was like, oh, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to attack you. So it built up this level of fear in us. So here we are having this really healthy relationship, and sometimes we don't remember that we have it. So that's one of the big things, is just remember what you have, and don't let yourself dwell, even if you're not meaning to. Don't let yourself dwell on what you're used to. And remember that this is a whole new relationship that deserves a clean slate.
Oh, yeah.
It's so hard to give it that, though. It really is.
It really is hard, especially, like I said, when you're accustomed to one thing happening in your relationship over and over again. Then you come into a brand new one and you expect that. And you're just like, that didn't happen. What do I do? What do I do? You know?
Yeah. And so we were thinking of telling you guys certain things that we kind of try to remind ourselves, and things that we hated in past relationships that we never want to deal with again, just to like maybe let you guys know things that you should and shouldn't do, or maybe things that work well and maybe some things that don't work. But I don't want to say should, because everyone's different. But like, I think communication, open communication is key. Look, typical thing, let's say I saw him texting somebody that's a female that I don't know. The first thing you should do in that case is not jump on your partner and go, how dare you? Who are you texting? You're cheating, aren't you? God, no. The first thing you should do is say, hey, so I noticed you were talking to somebody that I've never met. Who is that? Easy, calm. I mean, you were texting somebody the other day. It turns out it was a work person. I was just like, oh yeah, I've never seen that name pop up on your phone. I'm just curious. And he knows I'm just curious. But the way you approach it is everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Because, people are allowed to have friends of all genders.
And that's the greatest thing, is like, she'll be like, or like if she sees that I'm messaging someone that we know or something, or like a female, she's like, oh, tell him I said hi. Okay, that's it. She's not like, what are you guys talking about?
I do sometimes ask, what are you guys talking about when you're messaging Brooke?
Yeah.
Because usually you're talking about cosplay and photo shoots. And I'm like, should I block this off on my calendar?
Yeah, because and because she comes with me a lot on my shoots to help pose the model and things like that, because she's a lot better at that than I am. So a lot of times I'm horrible at this, is like, I'll be like, all right, yeah, we'll set up a shoot for this day, this day, this day. And then I'll be like, oh, I'm going to shoot this day. And she's like, we have something you forgot. And I'm like, I should have probably checked I should probably use a calendar. Then check the calendar.
I am your calendar.
Yeah, so that's one of the greatest things, is because she does work with me, that we can have that open relationship when it comes to, she knows as a photographer and stuff that I work with a bunch of people. Yeah. And so it's never, why are you talking to that person? It's more hey, do I need to schedule something?
Is this something that I need to know about? Like, you don't question me when James and I talk. I have a friend, his name's James, and you don't question me when James and I talk, but you're always like, oh, are you talking to James? And I say, yeah, and then it's tell him I said hi, or I hope he's doing okay.
Never met the guy, but I'm like, hey, just tell him I said hi.
It's okay to inquire with your partner about who they're talking to, but if you inquire in an accusatory way, you just started a fight for no reason, because 9 times out of 10, it's a business call, or it's just a friend, or it's you trying to have your own conversations and your own life that I'm not a part of, and that's fine. That's normal. It's typical. Just make sure that you are aware that you're not accusing your partner first. I think that's a big one, and I know you dealt with that a lot. Another one is if you are upset with your partner and they did something wrong, tell them. The worst thing you can do, and we have vowed never to do this, I'm so mad at you.
Why?
Absolutely mad at you.
But why? Why are you mad at me?
If you don't know, you better figure it out. I'm not telling you. You have to figure this out. That's like the worst thing you can do. Because first of all, if you don't give even any context clues about what they did wrong, they'll go back 6 years to figure out what they might have done. And that causes an unnecessary amount of anxiety in that person. And it really unsettles them within the relationship. You know, you have this nice foundation of this relationship house. And when you do something like that, you put a crack in the foundation. Yeah. And that's just bad. I mean, I was getting all whimsical, or not whimsical, like metaphorical, and I was like, that's just bad.
That answer right there creates drama, not a resolution.
Yes. Versus, hey, listen, I'm pretty mad at you about something. I think I said this yesterday, didn't I? I was mad at you about something. I was like, hey, I'm pretty mad at you about something. And you were like, what? And I said, well, you did this and it upset me. And it was more of a conversation of like, hey, I would prefer if you didn't do that anymore because it really pissed me off. And you went, okay, I won't do that anymore. Not, you really made me mad earlier today. And I'm not telling you what you did. You have to figure out what it was. Yeah. What kind of a scavenger hunt did I just set him
because
on?
She legitimately had an issue, told me what the issue was, so that way we could work through it.
Yeah.
That way, then it's a 10, 15 minute discussion rather than a 10-day long, well, what time, 10:45 I did this, so 10:47 did I do, no.
Oh my gosh, if you did that to me, I would absolutely go crazy. I would start making lists. I would go back on Facebook and figure out what I did, Instagram, what did I, all right. So I know on June 15th of 2020, I said this, and if that's why you're mad, I'm really, really sorry.
Well, it wasn't now, or now it is.
Oh gosh. You know? Okay, I'll keep looking. And I would do that. And that's so, if you're with this person, you absolutely love them, right? Like, that's how this works. You're with somebody because you love them. Why would you cause the person you love unnecessary anguish and anxiety and stress? Why would you do that? Just be honest and tell them why they upset you. It is okay. In any relationship, it is okay for someone to make you mad and for you to let them know that they did. It is how you do that makes or breaks your relationship. Yeah. I make you mad. You make me mad. We tell each other, and then hopefully we don't do it again. You know, human error, we may forget that I might absolutely forget that something that I do makes you really angry. Just remind me. Yeah. And I'll be like, oh, right, sorry.
The same thing, bad. You know, we're human, we're going to make mistakes. And as long as we're not trying to make those mistakes repeatedly, they're working on it.
Yeah.
You know?
And, you know, everyone's like, oh, well, marriage takes work. Relationships take work. It does. It's not like manual labor, but it does take thinking before you act and considering before you say. Yeah. It definitely takes that. Another thing, don't get mad at your partner for stuff they actually didn't do. I had to deal with this a lot. Like, my significant other would have a dream, and in that dream, I did something wrong, and then they would wake up and be super pissed at me for the rest of the day, and I'd be like, that wasn't actually me. That wasn't, I don't live in your head. A dream is not what the other person did. It is your insecurities about what the other person might do or about the other person in general. Like if I had a dream that you cheated on me or something. I didn't. But let's say I did. I couldn't wake up and be mad at you and accuse you of cheating. Literally, that happened in my head. Why? You weren't even there.
Yeah, I was dead asleep. You know, it wasn't like I was like, yeah, look, it's real life. No, you can't be mad at someone
for... He wasn't even there.
Yeah. It's like sitting there watching, like I said this earlier, like when you're sitting in the shower and you have one of those imaginary conversations with yourself, like, ooh, yeah, if this would happen, I would do this. And the next time you see that person, you'd be like, ooh, you go ahead, say it. Say it.
You're knowing
that person like, never said anything like that, but you're like, yeah, tell me that mustard is better.
You thought that they said it. You came up with this scenario and had this fake fight in your head. And then afterwards, you kind of bring the fight to life, even though the other person was not actually involved in the first place and has no idea what you're talking about.
The other person's just like, look at the meme, and you're just like, bro, cute.
Oh my gosh. It's just, don't be mad about something that they didn't
You can't do
that. And then on the same note, if you do find out that they did something, get their side of the story before you get mad. That's a big one. I have a story. Can I tell the story?
Sure.
You'll know when as soon as I say it. So, in a past relationship, everything was fine. Everything was great. Noise complaint was on the road, and one of my noise complaint members she downloaded Tinder. And that was when Tinder was new, and she was younger, like way younger, and I was just like, I don't know if that's safe. I don't know if it's safe. I worry about you. And she goes, oh, it's fine. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to download it myself and see what it's all about, because I kind of do that. I worry about the people that are in my company, and they're kind of like, they're not like my kids, but I'm like their captain and they're my crew. And I'm like, no, I want to make sure it's safe. I want to know what you're getting yourself into. So I downloaded it. At the time, Tinder just took your Facebook login information, because I just said, oh yeah, log in via Facebook. That's fine. It created a profile for you. This is a true story. I have never willingly been on Tinder for any purpose other than this. And it took my profile information, had a whole big thing. I start going through it, and then I'm like, so what do you do? Just swipe left? And she's like, yeah, if you don't like them, swipe left. I was like, left, 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 left. And I was like, this is kind of fun. But like, I was like, all right, it's pretty legit. You're going to be all right. There's some safeties in place. And then deleted it from my phone, never had it again. I get a text I get a phone call about 2 weeks later from my ex-husband, who I was still married to at the time. And he goes, so my friend says you're on Tinder. And I'm like, what? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, actually I was. And then I told him what happened. And he goes, I kind of figured it was something like that. He was super cool about it, because he understood that I would do something like that. And he also said, it's not like you have time to be stepping out on me. He's so right. I have like 14 jobs, y'all. I don't have any time. So that was actually a healthy interaction that wasn't between you and me. It was between me and a past person. But like, the fact that he said, so this person said that, can I get your side of the story before I get mad? It saved the day. That's not why we're not together anymore. I have other videos on that. He's great. He's a wonderful person. I love him. He's wonderful. I love everybody. That's not why. Anyway, so.
No, it's really great that he had the foresight to call you and be like, hey, what's this? And that's what you should do. You should not just jump to conclusions. Oh my gosh, they're cheating on me.
Yeah. And his friend jumped to conclusions, assuming that I was on there for any reason. But at the same time, I kind of wish that the friend had come to me, because it's a mutual friend, and said, hey, so I saw you on this. Is this something I should tell your husband about? I mean, if I said no, then that would be a red flag. If I said, yeah, sure, go ahead. Not a red flag. But anyway, be honest with each other. If you feel a certain way, if you are afraid that they did something, or if they did do something, or if somebody tells you that they did something, just be open and honest and make everything a conversation instead of a fight. And that will save you. Yeah. That will save your entire relationship. Did I go too far with the Tinder story?
No, I think it was perfect.
Okay.
But it will save your relationship, or it'll save your sanity.
Yeah.
Because saying that all conversations will work out hunky-dory. You might find out that someone is cheating, find that someone is doing something. But the fact is that if you can have a conversation with somebody, you can resolve this without as much pain, heartache, stress, everything.
Yeah. And how you talk to somebody is so crucial. There's a lot of weight on that. Past relationship, it was never what was said, it was always how it was said. I remember there were always witnesses to a lot of our fights too, because there were just people around, and the way this person would talk to me was the only reason I ever fought back. Like, never mind what we were actually arguing about. It was the minute that they got mean to me that I said, that's it. No, you cannot talk to me that way. And that's when I would, like, figuratively put my foot down. And that was the only time I ever really got upset back. In hindsight, I probably should have gotten upset about a lot more things, but I let a lot of things roll because I just really wanted to be in the relationship. I wanted it to work. I wanted everything to be fine. And I let a lot of things go, but not the way I was spoken to. That will literally make or break your relationship too. If you and I were rude to each other when we were mad, we wouldn't be together right now. I don't stand for that, and neither do you. So, like, okay, sometimes I can get a little hot-headed, and I can say some things that are not the nicest thing, but it's not the same. It's truly, it's the level at which it was versus, like, me saying, well, fine, bushy eyebrows, and then, like, actually, you have really nice eyebrows. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, we throw little jabs here and there.
It's one of those things where it's like when you get really upset or angry and you accidentally cuss.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
what do
that.
You mean
it's
accidentally
just, look, I'm keeping it PG-13 for them, you know.
I was like,
you
some
just
people
like,
know me.
You smash your finger and a bad word comes out. It's like that. It's like you're upset and it just pours out, you know. And might not be exactly what you meant, but you then later on you can discuss, hey, I'm sorry that I said it that
and
way.
there's certain words that you should never say because certain words you can't take back. Like, never call somebody stupid because you can't really take that back. You can say pretty much anything but really hurt the person to the core, you know, and you could probably make it through that. But here's a good thing to do. Figure out what the non-negotiables are between the two of you. I have certain things I will not stand for being called. And then other things you can call me that, and I'm going to be like, I mean, okay, whatever. Like, you can't call me stupid. I'll be very upset if you call me stupid. Or I don't really know what else.
I think it's pretty much for me too. Like, I don't like my intelligence being insulted.
And there's certain things like about me that I already have insecurities about that you can't point out. Like, you can't point out the things that I hate about myself as a way to like make me feel bad. But in the heat of the moment, if you're just like, I don't even know. I don't even know like, how to insult me.
I bet you wish you were a blonde. You know.
I do. That would make my life so much easier.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't just take jabs at people.
Yeah.
It's not fair, and it's just all that's doing is just pouring salt on an open wound. It's just there to just try to make you feel better about the fact that you're putting someone else down.
There's a certain level of in the heat of the moment that can be forgiven, and I think that you should be willing to forgive some in the heat of the moment words. If they know not to say certain words and then they say them anyway, that's another story. But mostly, I think what we came on here to say and went off on like 10,000 tangents, and I'm even considering redoing this video because I don't know. But I think communication is just the most important thing. Know what your non-negotiables are between you guys. Know that not everything is the other person's fault, and if it is... Oh, that was the last thing. Say you're sorry when you did something wrong.
That is the key one.
Even if you didn't mean to do it, if something you did hurt the other person, be sorry that it hurt the other person. Because if your pride is worth more than their feelings, this relationship is not going to work. It's just not. Your pride is important. But their feelings are also important.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you're not willing to say, I'm sorry over something that you did, like, oh, I did something the other day. I moved something of yours and you couldn't find it when you needed it. And I didn't mean to. I was just cleaning up, you know? But you got really, like, upset. Yeah. Because you couldn't find it.
And I thought I lost it. I was like, oh my gosh, I was really upset because I couldn't find it. And
I didn't mean to do that. But it upset him, so I apologized. And I said, hey, where do you want me to put that from now on? You not only apologize, you figure out how to not do that in the future. Saying you're sorry is very important. Very, very important. And meaning it.
Don't be like, sorry.
And the other side of that is accept the apology when it's given. I have a hard time with that sometimes because it takes me, like, I have to, like, walk away, think about it, and go, okay, accept your apologies. When I'm that hot-headed. People are like, Jen gets hot-headed? Really? And I'm like, you don't know. I'm a Gemini. I got two sides. So just talk. Listen.
That you have to. You have to, otherwise it's not going to work. and you're dooming your relationship right at the beginning if you're not willing to.
Yeah. Definitely listen to each other. Figure out what love really means between the two of you and how that relationship is going to work. Mm-hmm. You know, especially like if you're together right now, but you're going to move in the future. Oh, trust me, you're going to fight about stuff. The minute you move in with each other, you're going to fight about stuff. I promise.
You're going to learn all about that person.
Little things like how people can leave socks by the couch. Like, that's just, it's not you. I know that. But like, it's Alex. And we're basically married too. And like, how can he leave socks by the couch? Like, I just don't get it. But like, that's such a small thing to fight over. But it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So just be aware that these things are going to happen. You're going to disagree. You're going to wonder why they leave the toothpaste on the counter instead of in the basket where it goes. What a stupid thing to fight over. Mm-hmm. But at some point you're going to mention it. And when you do mention it, say, hey, you know, I prefer a clean counter. Would you mind putting your toothpaste back in the thing? Not, I can't believe you're such a slob and you put your toothpaste on the counter. Ew, I'm so mad at you.
Good, it's on the counter.
There's two different ways to say the exact same thing. And with everything that you say, try to say it with the other person's feelings in mind. Because otherwise they're not going to consider yours. Saying
it that way is going to get that response. Then good, it's on the counter. If you're coming at somebody rough, they're going to come back at you rough. Yeah. And that's all it's going to do is, if you're talking about toothpaste, it's going to ruin your day for the rest of the day because it's obviously a morning conversation. But yeah, 100%.
Love gets love in return.
Yeah.
Hate gets hate in return. That's all it is. Communication.
I agree. I 100% agree. And
this was a weird vlog. I'm so sorry about my tangents.
I had a blast with them. And, you know, if you guys enjoy this, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let us know, you know, if you have any other good ways of working out. You know, I have friends who will play video games to go against each other to resolve who was right and wrong. I think it's crazy, but it works for them. And I'm like, but...
Smash Brothers for us every time.
Oh, no, I'm down. I'm losing.
It's not Call of Duty. I'm going to lose that. Goat Simulator.
Who can get the most amount of score in like X amount of time? Let's go. But yeah.
And if there's other things that you'd like us to talk about, because we have discussed the ideas of healthy relationships. We have really put a science behind this. If you would like us to talk about other things like what makes a good relationship, what makes a bad relationship, different facets of that, we'd be happy to do that. We love sharing what we've learned and what we've been through. And this whole thing is a learning process. We both came from interesting backgrounds and places, and we're still working out. I'm still trying to apologize for wearing things. Like, what is that?
I'm still asking for permission to do things because...
Like photo shoots with other girls.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, why would you ask that?
Because exes made me feel like I was a horrible person for wanting to do them.
And exes made me feel like I shouldn't be allowed to wear a short skirt. So I feel that. And we're still apologizing to each other. And then we go, wait, what? Why did you just do that? And then we're like, oh, right. I forgot. This is fine. And yeah. So communicate, ask, forgive, apologize.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay, heavy vlogs. In the middle of it, I'd tell a horrible story.
But no, I think it's a really good thing because just going through that stuff with you is just really helpful in any type of discussion that we have.
Yeah.
So.
And, you know, the perfect couple looks like they never fight. My parents fought, and their love was written in the stars, guys. Oh, I need to do a vlog about them. I'm going to do one. It'll be my next dad story. It'll just be the story of true love starring my mom and my dad.
But yeah, I enjoyed this vlog. I hope it helped you guys out in one way or another.
Or at least gave you some insight into like us.
How we handle the other person messing up something.
We play chess. We play Goat Simulator.
But
who falls off the trampoline first?
Go. But so... Thanks for hanging out with us. As always, it means so much to us that you guys are hanging out with us, and I get to hang out with you. It means a lot to me, too. So
I love these.
But I'm Safety Scissors.
And I'm Duct Tape.
We are out of here. Bye.